Okay. Hi Internet. I am back for the second part of what I posted last week, which is what the second year of college taught me. This time I'm going to focus on things that I learned in the classroom versus outside of the classroom. So let's get this started. One of the first few things that I learned in the second year of college is that you have to rent your books from somewhere other than the bookstore. Because college textbooks are ridiculously expensive, whether you buy them or rent them. So you literally have to buy your books from somewhere other than the bookstore. I get that some schools have books that are especially like lab related, that you can't get them off of Chegg or Slug Books or Amazon, nothing like that. But you have to get your books, at least for one class, I would say, not from the bookstore. Don't let the bookstore try to tell you that you can only get your books from there, because you can literally get them anywhere. Next thing that the second year of college taught me, this is a really big deal. Professors are people too. I learned in the second year of college that they have just as much, if not more, on their plate as we do. Example, I had an English professor that his basement flooded every week of the fall semester, or at least every other week from what I can remember. And he was a single dad, he had 2 daughters, and he canceled class practically every week because his basement was flooding and he couldn't obviously be at school. And then I had another professor. I found out that she was raising a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old when she was completing her bachelor's degree when she was like my age. And as my professor, it was so hard to wrap my head around the idea that, wow, you really did have a story before you became a teacher. I think sometimes as people, we forget that other people have had a story. Maybe their lives are boring or they're just another person on the street, but everybody has a story. And especially in the college classroom, I learned that professors are part of that world of hidden stories that become so fascinating when you learn the story. It's really cool to learn other people's stories. I'm a big storyteller myself, but I guess I'll move on by now. Ooh, I like this one. The next thing that the second year of college taught me, especially in the classroom, is that you don't have to buy into the idea that everybody is stressed. Because not everybody is stressed. I mentioned so long ago in a video that stress is the way that you look at something with your perception and your past experiences. So if you went through something that maybe someone else did, but you just look at it differently, doesn't mean you have to be stressed about it just because they were. You literally don't have to be stressed about homework or just life in general, being away from home, feeling alone. Some people love isolation. Some people love reading. Some people like skipping class. You literally don't have to buy into feelings of what the world claims is mutual. And I love that I figured that out. I can have my own stress and not try to make it anybody else's stress. It's a pretty nice thing. The next thing that the second year of college taught me in the classroom, I mentioned it in the first part of this video, but communication is hard. It is really difficult sometimes. I don't think I really need to stress that anymore because we literally, I feel like a hair tickling me. I don't know. Anyway, we deal with communication problems literally every day of our lives. But I learned it in and out of the classroom, and that just proves how much I need to study it. The next thing that the second year of college taught me is that you need to come prepared to class. It's kind of necessary. Don't be that person that is always asking for a piece of paper or a pen or a calculator. Like, you need to show up to math class with a calculator. You can't do that. You need to come to class prepared. If you want to go the extra mile, be that person that is prepared for the teacher. Like, read the assigned readings. Show up to class with some expo markers or some chalk, maybe if the chalk broke or if the expo markers in the classroom are dried out. Like, you need to come prepared. You're going to feel pretty lost and alone there, and that's going to be your stress if you come to class not prepared. Come to class prepared. Please, I'm begging you, as a complete stranger. The next thing that the second year of college taught me, I wrote this down in big letters, more times than not, you're not the only person that is confused in class. The teacher will ask us, does anybody else have any questions? It always takes one person to raise their hand and say, yeah, I don't understand anything you just said. And more times than not, no one's going to admit that they're confused. But along with that, you're not the only one that is confused. I learned that in a very, very high amount in the second year of college. The next thing that I learned in the second year of college is that college students get super territorial over what they consider to be their seat. It was hilarious how many times I came into class and maybe I was just hanging out with someone before class started, just talking to somebody. Someone would physically come up to me with a very angry look on their face, and they would just say, "You're in my seat. Get out." I'm like, I will when class starts. I'm just hanging out with my friend here. It is not your seat. It is not your seat. Oh my god, that drove me crazy. All year that drove me crazy, the amount of times that somebody was like, that's my seat. Why are you in my seat? I just learned that college students get super territorial over what they consider to be their seat. And then the last thing that the second year of college taught me in the classroom is that there is a big difference between talking with someone and talking to someone. Talking to someone is kind of, I would say, more of a derogatory term than talking with someone. Talking with someone is a step in relational development where you're bringing yourself together, you're integrating your friendship. It's like you're including them instead of you're the only one that is in that conversation. When someone says you're talking to someone, it's like the other person doesn't have something to say. Like they talk to you and you talk to them. But when you're talking with someone, it's a mutual means of talking. It was a very fascinating thing when I found that out. So there you have it. Those are the in-classroom experiences and lessons that I learned in the second year of college. I'll make sure to put my social media links in the description box below. And I hope you guys have a great day. I'll definitely see you next week because I'm excited about all that I'm going to post this summer. I can finally post again. Finally. It has been too much of a hot minute since I've posted anything. I'll see you later, my lovelies. Oh, these shorts are getting a bit tight.